Boston, is where a capacity crowd sees the NBA championship struggle between the Minneapolis Lakers and the Boston Celtics.
The NBA's most fabled rivalry was born in 1959 when the Celtics beat the Lakers in the finals.
The great Boston team goes on to win the National Basketball Association championship.
Throughout the 1960s, it seemed as if the teams were meeting every year in the finals.
The Boston Celtics are world champions.
And each time, Boston was the team celebrating in the end.
I hated green for a long time. I wouldn't wear anything green. It just got to the point where it was so frustrating to hear the noise and shouting after games that we had lost.
In 1969, LA traded for Wilt Chamberlain, the game's most dominant force, and they were sure that this would finally be the year they'd beat Boston.
The owner of the Lakers put out a sheet in all the seats. When the Lakers win the championship, the USC band would play Happy Days Are Here Again. The balloons in the rafters would fall down, and Chick Hearns would interview Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, and Wilt Chamberlain in that particular order.
When the players came in, I read it to all of them. I says, one thing that cannot go on, the Lakers cannot beat us. They can't beat us. But it's going to be fun to watch them get those balloons out one at a time.
Helped by Don Nelson's miracle shot, the balloons stayed in the rafters as Boston won again.
It's all over. And there they go. They won it again. Bill, this must have been a great win for you. One more time. One more time.
15 years later, Bird and Magic would revive this intense rivalry.
I hated Larry. No other word to really use. And I disliked the Celtics.
As the 1984 finals began, Magic looked to end the Boston jinx.
This has to be one of the most decisive rounds in championship game history.
Today, when you see Magic slapping high fives and guys going behind their back and shooting layups on us all day long, it seems that somebody would try to put a stop to it. But until we get our hearts where they belong, we're in trouble.
Here's Magic off the mark. So here's Larry Bird chucking down the court.
It will be up to Bird to sound the Celtic rallying cry.
The Boston Celtics are the NBA World Champions.
1 year later, the Lakers would find themselves back in Boston.
Magic! Larry's gonna kill you! There's no magic in here!
But this time, LA would make history by becoming the first Laker team to beat Boston.
The Lakers answered the Celtics' true grit with a fierce, determined performance.
That whole mental and historical thing, the jinx, whatever have you, it all died at that point.
Does America believe in magic? You bet we do.
And when LA beat Boston again in 1987, Magic even made a believer out of Bird.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
It took 21 years for the teams to meet again in the finals, and in 2008, the Celtics beat the Lakers for their 17th NBA title. Last year, the Lakers added a 15th title to their collection. Now, 21 years later, the teams meet again.
Lakers versus Celtics have always been very intense rivals, and it's because of the people and the players that have come before all of us. You know, if there's one history you know about, it's definitely the Celtics and the Lakers.
Guys, the closer we get to them actually playing in 2010, the more the players seem to try to be downplaying it. They say, no, it's about this year, it's not about the past. They gotta be feeling something, don't they, as we head into this?
A little bit. I mean, I think most of the guys like KG and Kobe, of course, they're students of the game, so they're going to do their history assignment and find out how the players before us kind of laid the path. Now, though, in 10, they say it's about us now. And you hear Paul Pierce and Kobe talk about now, can we get two so now we can be mentioned amongst those guys?
Yeah, I think you do, because those top players, especially those key players, especially when you look at Kobe Bryant and Paul Pierce, the lifers for the teams. Those guys are thinking about their legacy with that particular team. When you think about legacy, you think about how you can be different or better than the players that played before you in those uniforms. So it does matter. It matters from the people that are diehard fans for those teams. So it's a big deal. Maybe not a big deal for everyone, but I know in those particular cities, in those particular uniforms, it's a major deal.
Yeah, and maybe they're just trying to focus on the task at hand. That said, the past is prologue, so let's hear what the participants in this year's version have to say about this series.
It's obvious the first game win it is a very important element in any kind of a series. It also shows a little bit of dominance and preparedness too. And I will tell you, the last time we played Boston, in Boston, I felt we weren't prepared for all the things they were capable of running, and they showed it. They came out in the second half and had a great third quarter and really made it difficult for us.
Even though we had 2 7-game series in 2008, this was a tougher one. The first round was Dwayne Wade, even though we won in 5, and then the second round, LeBron, third round, Dwight Howard. Forget the teams. That's just the individuals you had to go through. And then when you put the teams with those two and, the first and second best record in the league. So this was a far tougher journey to get here, but we kind of expected that going into it.
A lot of guys have won one, and, not many have won a couple. And if you look at the great players in Celtic history, great teams, they've all won a couple championships at least. And so I want to be able to be mentioned up there with the great Celtics of all time.
The happy times of Magic winning against Boston, or the sad times of Jerry West losing to them, has no impact on me whatsoever. I have a series to play, I have a series to win. I just focus on that.
Yeah, he's talking about getting focused. Guys, we want to get your thoughts on this series. We've got a lot to get to as it is upon us. We're going to take a timeout as we head to break. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Game 1 will finally get underway. We get back to breaking it down after this quick timeout.